Welcome to Animal Posse, the podcast dedicated to the people and rescues making a difference in the lives of animals. Today on the show, we're talking with Nikki from Parish Pets. She started out as a hobbyist and an animal lover, but her vision grew into something much bigger. She's proven that business can be a force of animal welfare and community support. We're so excited to sit down with you today, Nikki. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you because I got to meet you a couple of weeks ago and I got to tour your store, and you were telling me the story of how you got started and then also how you give back. I wanted to talk more about that because I thought it was very interesting. I love that you're in a business for animals and then you're also giving back to the community and helping animals in need.
Awesome. Yeah, we loved having you at the store and thank you guys so much for visiting. And I love to share our story with anybody who wants to hear it.
Yeah, I know a little bit about it. So tell my audience how you got started and what your store is like today.
So basically, I used to work in the medical field and I had to take some extended time off of work because of a surgery. And I bought a sewing machine with the thought of just filling some of my time and taught myself how to sew dog collars because I wanted my dog at the time to have something fun and interesting that nobody else had that was just off of the shelf at any store. And basically, friends and family started asking me for some. And then I opened an Etsy shop. And then I started doing local markets around town. And after a couple of years of that, I made the decision to take a leap of faith and do that as my full-time job out of my house. And after a few years out of my house, it started taking over my home. And at that time, I started making treats. I was in about 13 different retailers around Baton Rouge and Gonzales and Prairieville and surrounding areas. And I just decided if we had a storefront, we could offer other things like treats and toys but also with the thought of they could be good things for animals, healthy food, healthy treat, things like that.
I met you because you were able to do the grant check presentation from the Mission Meow grant that I received. And
Yes.
you're a partner with Mission Meow. How did you come to partner with them and how did you find them?
One of the things that I'm pretty passionate about in the store, besides just having good options for pets, is having local or handmade and other small businesses, because that's how I started. I definitely want to highlight them. And at the time, I was carrying a brand called For Mew Cat Toys. And my customers loved her toys. They were always so cute, and cats went crazy for them. And she actually introduced me to Mission Meow. And there's usually a lot more opportunities to give back when it comes to dogs for the most part. And I wanted to make sure when I started Parish Pets, that's why I made sure to include the name pets and not dog or anything like that, because I wanted to include cats and other animals. After she explained Mission Meow to me, I really loved what they were doing and how they were going about it, and reached out to them about partnering with them. And that was probably, I feel like it's been at least 3 years that I've been a partner with them.
That's amazing. And I know it's because of people like you that they can afford to give these grants out.
Yeah, I'm just honestly thankful that my customers continue to shop with me and I'm able to donate to them. I think their organization is so important. What they're doing, they're helping so many different rescues. Just their whole entire platform and how they go about it is so amazing to me, just because their reach is so big and they can do so much.
What kind of pets do you have at home?
I have 2 dogs, and but we're excited because we are talking about partnering with one of our local rescues and having some foster cats available in the store. It's a little bit of a shop pet for us, but also so they can get a little more exposure, and hopefully find a good home for them.
That's awesome. Now, I know the place that I visited, it was really spectacular. Like, you have the most amazing yard,
Thank
and
you.
you had some incredible ideas of what you want to do with that yard. So, can you tell everybody a little bit about your new place? And I thought the story on how you got your place was interesting too, if you wouldn't mind sharing that.
Yeah. So I was in another building for almost right at 4 years, not far from our new building. It was basically not even a mile down the road, but I really needed to expand. I wanted to be able to just offer more to my customers and be a little more visible because I want to hold events, want to hold adoption events. And where I was, it just didn't have the visibility I wanted for that. And there was this one building that was probably sitting empty for a good 3 to 4 years. And I really loved this building. I just loved it. Was a mid-century modern looking building. It's one of my favorite time periods for stuff like that. And I just always really liked it. And I was actually supposed to go look at it for a showing finally. And the week I was supposed to go, someone else put a contract in on it and bought it. And I was super devastated. Yeah. Could not get over it because the person who bought it ended up not doing anything with the building and it sat empty for another almost year and a half. And so that hurt my feelings way more. And we kept looking, and I just happened to be at another place one day looking with my real estate agent, and I wasn't even inside. I was outside looking around, and the guy who was in the current building I was looking at just randomly happened to mention to my real estate agent that he had a friend that had a piece of property that he was about to need to get rid of and put on the market. And it was on Government Street, somewhere around the post office. And this building is right next to the post office on Government Street. And I had to go to work. So I left. And as soon as my real estate agent left, he called me and was like, I think it's the building you've been waiting on. And so he ended up doing some research and we figured out who owned it. And the rest is kind of history. We ended up with it, but it just almost feels like we were meant to be there. It's crazy how it worked out. And we've been open there since the end of November last year. It has a yard that we fenced in to make secure. And we're super, super excited. We actually have our first pet centered vendor market this weekend on Sunday. So we partnered with a market that was already established in a different city, and we're bringing them to Baton Rouge in our space. And we're going to have like vendors, but also keeping it pet centric with the vendors. So we have some local treat makers, dog food, some boarding places coming out, some vet clinics, some trainers. We're going to have adoptable dogs out there from APAWS, the rescue that we're working with, to have the foster cats in house. And we'd love to keep the space open for events. And just over the next year or so, want to kind of figure out what we want to do with it. We have thoughts of possibly turning it into a really nice neighborhood dog park. We have thoughts of just really not doing anything with it and leaving it like it is so we can continue to host pet friendly events. And we have plans with some of the local yoga and Pilates studios to eventually do yoga and Pilates with adoptable pets. So many, I feel like the possibilities are just so endless in that space. And that's what we're super excited about with being there.
Yeah, that's amazing, and congrats on having your first event too, because I know you were telling me a little bit about it. How many vendors are you gonna have out there?
I think we had between 12 and 13. And then we have the adoption agency on top of that. We're super excited to have that many people out because it's definitely a trial to see how it all goes, how everybody fits in the backyard. And it's going to be a beautiful weekend. So, also very thankful for that.
Yeah, I did hear it's supposed to be really nice this weekend, so that's great. Another thing that you did in your store too, you have a section where you had pet food for the community.
Yeah, honestly, I took that idea from the community fridges that we have in a lot of different places around Louisiana. We have a we have one in Baton Rouge that's pretty close to our store, and I do a few things with the place that the community fridge is located at, the Red Shoes, and they're a great organization. And I just wanted to take that same model because they even told me they had some people asking for pet food sometimes, looking for pet food. And I donated to it a few times, but it's hard. It's like I don't want to bring a whole bag, a 30-pound bag of dog food, and only one person gets it. And unfortunately, in our last location, we just didn't have the space to do anything like that. So we just made sure when we moved, we kept a little area and made a little shelf. And we put everything in Ziploc bags, label it, and people can bring unopened stuff to us and we'll put it on the pantry. We've even had some customers that are in the store and they've bought a bag of dog food right off the shelf and told us to put it towards the pantry, which was extremely touching that people just really care in the community about things like that. And we have a little basket where we'll take gently used toys. People have brought blankets, all kind of things. And it gets used a good bit and everyone is super respectful of it. They take what they need, leave enough for others. It's been a really, I think it's just really awesome to have it in the store.
Do you have a lot of people coming in to get it then?
We do. Honestly, we have a good bit of people. I've even had customers that come in and regularly buy dog food from me, and there's a little bit of a tight month, and they need to grab a couple bags off the shelves. You just never know when somebody might need it. The one thing I will say, we usually have a lot more dog food available on there than cat food. So we're usually a little more short on the cat side, but we do have quite a few people who use it. And we put a sign at the Baton Rouge community fridge letting people know that it's at our store in case they are looking for pet food.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you that, how people were finding out that you had that.
Yeah, the we spoke with the Red Shoes and like they let us put a little sign because they have a shed built around their fridge. So we have a sign with our hours and where we're located about the pet pantry in their community fridge. And then we try to post it on social media and have it up there as much as we can.
Yeah, I think that's such an important thing to have too, because a lot of the times when it comes to people having to rehome their pets or keep their pets, it's a matter of being able to feed them. So having
Yes.
that resource for them is so incredibly helpful because it does allow them to keep their pets.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and like I said, like we definitely have some people who are regular customers of ours. I mean, there are definitely people, it comes down to sometimes it's just a few weeks that, they need help. And yeah, I mean, there are people that definitely have had to rehome a pet or something to that just because they can't feed them at that time. And that's terrible. People love their pets, they're a part of the family. I think it's definitely important if we're able to help people in any kind of situation like that.
Had you always helped pets prior to this?
I've always loved animals. We had animals growing up. We always had dogs and cats. My best friend growing up, her family always had everything, all the dogs, all the cats, all the reptiles. And I actually, when I was younger, wanted to be a vet tech and I wanted to be in an animal related field because I wanted to do something helping animals. And I was also interested in the surgery or medical part of it or whatever. And I ended up taking a turn and going into the surgery world with people instead. And that was great. And it was a very interesting career. And I loved my job for a long time. But it's funny how when I had to step back from that, I ended up taking a turn back towards animals without even really meaning to, trying just by making my own dog a dog collar at my house. So it was crazy how that worked out.
Yeah, yeah, it is. And I think that's what I liked about your story when you were telling me just about how you started and then how you got the building. It was like everything fell into place so that you could, in a way, help animals.
Yeah, I love thinking about it that way. I hope, honestly, if that's the only way people think about Parish Pets, I would love that. Obviously, we want to be here giving people fun toys and good treats and those sort of things to give their animals. But I also want people to think about us as a staple in the community of giving back and helping and doing things for the betterment of animals around our city.
Since you did start making dog collars, do you still make your collars?
I do. So that's the one hill that I'll die on in the store is I feel like since that's what started it all, like I still carry my collars. Now they're the only place in town that they are at. I don't have them in any other stores or retailers or anything like that any longer. But basically, I don't carry many other collars in the store. I pretty much only carry collars that like I can't make myself. Like I don't do any kind of leather or anything like that. So I may have a few leather options and stuff like that. But as far as everything else, the majority of the collars in our store, probably a good 90% of them are all made by me.
That's pretty cool. With the foster kittens that you have coming in the store, when do you expect to get those kitties in?
Not sure about that. We literally just started talking about that. So we're going to get through this weekend. And then I also have another busy weekend next weekend. Myself and one of my dogs are actually on the furball court, which is an annual basically dog friendly ball that's held. It's a fundraising event for our like big, like Baton Rouge, like city shelter here, Companion Animal Alliance. So myself and my dog Manny are on the furball court this year, and the ball is next Saturday. So we have a lot of fun planning to do right now. So I think once we get through these next 2 weekends, we're gonna pick out a good spot for the cats and then hopefully get them in the shop in the next few weeks.
That's awesome. What about for your little pet show that you're doing too? Do you have any plans of doing like more dog adoptions or more events using your yard?
We definitely do. We are talking with a couple of people trying to get some rescues on a schedule. And also, one of the things that I used to do at my old location, we used to have a Yaki Hour monthly, and I'd really love to bring those back. We just basically had a big dog party once a month, and we had a different theme every month and usually had an activity for pet parents to do with their pets, a painting, make an ornament around Christmas time, those sort of things. So hopefully, I really want to work on bringing that back soon.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show to share all of this. And I wish you the best luck too with your new building. And like I said, it is awesome. The yard was so spectacular. And I'm so glad that you can use it to help animals in need too.
Thank you so much. And thank you guys for having me. It really means a lot.
Yeah, I'm just trying to spread the word and see if we can inspire other businesses to do something similar too. Because I do think it's important. A lot of the times people go into business and they just think about that money aspect of it and they don't involve the other side of it, which is giving back. And I love that you do that.
Yeah, I tell people, I'm like, if you're trying to start up a small business to make money, you're in a reason. I feel that way about a lot of things, but yeah, it's such an easy platform to be out in the community and be seen. It's really should be used for good.
Absolutely. That's it for today's episode of Animal Posse. If you love what we're doing, please consider becoming a member. Your support directly helps us continue highlighting the people and stories that save lives across the country. Just a quick reminder, the views and opinions expressed by our guests are theirs alone and are provided for entertainment purposes. They don't necessarily reflect the official position of the show, and this information should never replace the advice of your own veterinarian. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.